Welcome back to You Love Your Mother and a Multi-Hit Target Attacks. Excuse me, anime review, episode number 2. Excuse me. This one covering episodes 3 and 4 for the series. And this technically does finish up book 1. And 4 does have some changes when it comes to dialogue. 3 mostly stays intact, from what I can tell, because I read the book today. I finished reading the book today, and then I watched the anime. Well, just these first few episodes. And episode 4, not much difference between the book and the actual episode itself. 4, oh heck yes, there's some dialogue changes for this. And they actually, you cut like a couple lines, and they change some dialogue in that one. So in the case of episode 3, starts off with the party of 4 just having a meal, which is actually food that Memiko bought in the very last episode. Yep, have some food, and then of course they go to a particular village, this Monman village, that's the name of it, where they were hired by the village to deal with this Empress Knight. And the way to describe her, Wise is thinking, and she's embarrassed by this, because it's revealed a little later on that Empress Knight is in fact her mother. Yes, the very same woman she mentioned in the last episode, and they do go to her backstory a little bit later on, where, this is of course, they do mention how she got here, where her mother kind of looks like her, except she's like 20 years older. And when they show her later, I'm like, oh boy, they make her drastically different. And her appearance reminds me of a couple of characters I've seen, a couple of anime, which I'll get to that. So then after they explain they explain this a little later on in the episode. Before that, we have a very infamous scene. A scene that's been seen in a lot of anime I've watched. What scene is it? The Hot Springs! Yep, gotta have a Hot Springs episode. Yep. But here's the thing, this actually is a canon episode because a lot of the time, usually these are basically anime original stuff, like in the case of Aria Scarlet Ammo. That was anime original. A lot of the time it can be, but in the case of, sometimes maybe canon, like in the case of My Hero Academia, that was canon. Fairy Tail was canon. It's kind of like with the same thing with Beach episodes. They're very rarely canon. So, basically, you have Mystico where he just relaxing in the hot spring, asking his mom's advice on something. And there she is, completely naked, right in front of him. Lucky enough, they actually censor it. Yes. How they censor it, it's not like the blinding light thing they did in episode 2. Oh no. Steam. And by the way, both girls, both naked too. Though at least Mystico actually averts his eyes to avoid seeing both Porter and Wise naked, though he does see Wise naked a little bit later. And the way, actually, he doesn't avert his eyes. What his mother does is she basically puts his eyes to her chest. Well, actually, above her chest. And I'm like, really? Is this necessary? Couldn't you put a blindfold on him or cover his eyes? No, just bury his face in your chest, Memiko. I get the fact you're hot. You don't need to bury your son's face in your chest. So, they both come in. Oh, yeah. And by the way, Porter has got her bag on her head. I thought this was kind of weird. Of course, they do hinting about, the fact that Empress Knight is actually her mother, which they reveal later on. And then, of course, she gets angry. And then she stands up right in front of Mystico. Or, of course, she kind of sees her naked. I don't know what he could see because of the fact it's covered all in steam. And he thinks he's about to be punished for seeing her without her clothes on. And she just punishes him. Nope, she just runs out. And by the way, second character in the series we get a chance to see the rear end for. Because in episode 2, we saw Memiko's rear end. Now it's Wise's turn. This happened in episode 3, mind you. I would not be surprised if we see Porter's rear end in the near future. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. So, by the way, and then of course they also do get some equipment gathering before they go to town. So they have this particular infamous scene that actually happens in the book. Aside from the hot spring scene, which actually does happen, before that we have the fashion show. First we have this bikini armor that Memiko tries. And of course, it's pointed out that Mystico, this is a terrible idea for her to wear because she's a mother. If he was like a little kid, it would not be a big of an issue. But he is a teenager. And this is a problem because his mother is hot. So, change it to a schoolgirl outfit. Yes, a schoolgirl outfit in a fantasy setting. Okay, and then we have this dark armor, and then she tries to try on this cloak, and it doesn't because it's part of a sorcerer class, and she's a warrior class. Okay, I'll just try it on. Doesn't fit. So Memiko has to have her son removed from her. You could easily have Wise do it. Nope, had to bring in your son to move your robe. And then she settles on the outfit she basically is usually seen in pictures wearing. Mm-hmm. Let me find it here. Yes, the outfit that she wears. Let's see. Now I should point out though about Mystico's outfit. His outfit looks exactly like Wise's, except it's more male oriented and it's blue. Okay, let's see if I can find it here. So, she puts on... Yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is her outfit she wears. She debuts in episode 3. As for her son... Let's see. This is his outfit, which looks like Wise's outfit. I'm going to show off Wise's outfit in a minute, but yeah. This is his outfit, and that's his typical outfit he would wear. Mm-hmm. Now, Porta. This is Porta, and the one thing that Wise does in one episode, has her sit on her lap. No, that's not a joke. She actually has her sit on her lap. Now, Wise, yeah, this is Wise. And, yes, just like Mystico, she wears a very similar looking attire. Yeah, the top half of the outfit is very similar to Mystico's. Now, her mom has got a couple different looks with her. Let's see if I can find here. Yes. Now, her mother is the Empress of Night. And her attire is, let's just say, yeah, this is what she looks like when she's the Empress of Night. Yes, which her appearance reminds me of a few different characters. One was that general they had in Konosuba, very similar looking appearance, except that one was a woman who with a groin. Not a joke about that. So apparently, Wise's mother is a cheater. Yes, she hacks the game to do whatever the heck they want. She wants. And apparently she wastes her money on hostess clubs. Now you're thinking, hostess clubs? There's nothing like that here. Well, there's nightclubs, but the way that's shown over in Japan, host clubs are simply put people sit at tables and have a women pour them drinks, and then the hostess gets drunk with you. This is why it's seen from Case Closed and a few other series. Now, I personally have never been to Japan, so I don't know what a hostess club looks like. When I think of something similar to that, I think of a nightclub. Except a nightclub, well, a lot of the time, basically, it's usually people wearing. Sometimes, basically, nightclubs, people like the way they show like 40s, where people wear like nice tuxedos, or they could be like raves. That's what I've seen in some movies. So, and also, it's mentioned by Wise that that her mother and father divorced, probably because of her idiotic stuff that she does, wasting their money on host clubs. I mean, come on, find something else to besides going. You can host club maybe once in a while, but not like almost seems like. It seems like she was going like the way they're implying. It seems like she went every night. Of course, that's wasting money. So, and the way they describe her, and now when they get to her in episode 4, I should point out though there is some changes here. Like, for example, Mystico basically comments that he was threatening to strip her. And she was a little bit more demonic in the actual book itself. Here she looked like a sexy woman. Yep. And it is commented though by Wise that her breasts are not that big. Because she's flat chested. Yep, she's got small breasts. And apparently it's implied Wise has got the same thing too. Okay. Yes, they actually do mention this in the book. They use the word tits in the book. That is basically how to describe it. And yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, cut out the line about where that Mystico was going to strip her of her demonic form. Yeah, they actually cut that out for some reason. Here she looks like a sexy lady. In the book, it's more demonic. Why the heck she looks like this for, I don't know. Maybe that JC staff didn't bother to actually probably look more closely at the book itself. I don't... well, that could explain why the line was cut. And then, of course, after battling her, and thanks, of course, to Memiko and Mystico properly defeating her, of course, is mentioned by the runaway nun, well, the mysterious nun, that she hacked the system because she brought in an item that was not from the game itself, thus basically giving her a cheat code. Yep. And if she continues to do this, she would pay equivalent to hundreds of millions of yen in damages, which could easily, some people could actually bankrupt them. Yes, seriously, it could bankrupt them. Which 100 million yen in U.S. currency is about $1 million. Which, if you're rich, you can afford to pay it off no problem. But if you're someone like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, it was basically, there was a tweet I saw, I got a notification from Twitter, where Ty Conte basically posted apparently a picture of the TBS Championship, which is going to be the sister championship to the TNT Championship held by the guys. I'll look at it later. Yep. So, in the case of, like, right after Empress Knight is beaten, she's turned back to normal, apparently, off screen. Yeah, she went from the sexy lady look to this okay mom look. And it's pointed out by Wise that she practically forced her in the program just so she could temporarily reconcile with her. And the fact she is called up on for attempt to use her own children, these kids, as furniture. Yep. Let's see. I'm trying to think what other character she reminds me of. I'm trying to think here. Well, I would say the face-wise, it reminds me of Helene from Combatants Be Dispatched. The only person I can think of is probably that demon that popped up in Cautious Hero. The first one they fought in the series. Mm-hmm. But yeah, after she's defeated, Wise decided to stay, she says, to log out and presumably pay a lot of fines for the bullcrap she pulled. By the way, it's mentioned early on that apparently the Japanese government is sponsoring the game. Yes. The Japanese government is sponsoring MMORPG, which to me makes no freaking sense at all. Like, here in the U.S., the U.S. government does not care to sponsor a video game at all. Not really, no. I guess in Japan they have to. So, Wise decided to stay despite that Gamora logged out, and it's very heavily implied the reason why that she stayed. The implication is that she has fallen in love. She has developed feelings for Mystico. Yep, that's practically the reason why. And she says, "Oh, you just probably just need me." Of course she does. Also, one way they helped to beat her was they used a sealing spell on her, which the only reason why it worked effectively on her mother because same face, which that actually does kind of make some sense to do. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. But in the case of these episodes are pretty good. And it'll be a little bit before I get a chance to do episodes 5 through 8, which presumably cover book 2 of the series. Yeah, it will just depend. Not bad looking belt. Yeah. Well, in the case of these, like, that's going to be pretty much it. I got nothing much to say about these 2 episodes. They're pretty good. And, well, you can kind of buy the fact of why in the world that the line was cut about her being, about the Empress and I being stripped. Yeah, I think even she knows. I think Mystica knows. That'd be kind of dumb, especially since his mother was basically.
Nikki, I've got your SeaWorld ticket printed out, but the Disney one, your barcode did not come through the way you sent it to me. Mom says to go to the bottom and then open it that way and send it to me that way.
Okay.
Okay, if not, ask Mom. Alright?
Alright.
You want a video or just looking at the screen there?
No, I'm recording.
Okay, sorry.
Anyways, so next Piracy video, maybe tomorrow. Okay? Next video. Bye.